Deb Cooper with the Canine Chronicle, bringing you a Table Talk Live update with Tom Pincus, who is the cluster chair for the Houston World Series of Dog Shows. Tom, I know you're super busy, so thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure talking to you again.
So, congratulations. I have to tell you that, last year there was a big hole in my July when I didn't get to come to Houston. So I'm very excited about being able to come back. I believe entries are now open. Why don't you tell us about when they close and how the show is going to differ this year than from what people are used to?
Entries opened Wednesday or Thursday, and they closed July 7th. Okay. So we still have 10, 11 days for entries. It's kind of interesting that when we started planning for the show back in January, February, we were not even convinced we could have a show because of the COVID stuff. We took a second look at it and said, okay, what we can make this work if we eliminate some of the extracurricular activities. So we focused just on having a good confirmation show. And focus has been on that. So the space that we had for confirmation in prior years is the same space that we're having this year. Great. So there's still going to be ample ring sizes, ample grooming space, all climate controlled, easy access, unloading, loading up at the end of the circuit. And we have, I think, about 35 vendors. I really know the number of spaces as opposed to the number of vendors. Sure. But they're all vendors that relate to the dog community. Mm-hmm. So we don't have the rescue groups. We don't have a lot of the flea market vendors, if you will, that we've had in the past. So we're really concentrating on that, and we're looking forward to a good entry, even though as always we were this Oklahoma Texas Death March. Right. But at least we will be cool inside.
Indeed, we will. And I believe that there's some exciting news about the COVID restrictions being.
Yes, I just heard this yesterday. The NRG Center, which is the facility we use, has relaxed all of their restrictions. So all of our exhibitors, judges, vendors, and guests, masks will be optional. Forced air dryers are allowed. And we're hoping it's going to be just a normal dog show.
Great. Terrific. I know, with the heat the way it is now, and I know it's always really hot there in July, but when you go in the building, you really have no idea how hot it is outside.
Well, and for the exhibitors, this is important. Yep. With reserved grooming spaces, they don't need to come in early on Tuesday morning to unload their dogs and grab a space. It's there for them. So we get a big rush about 6 or 7 in the evening, when it's starting to cool off a little bit. And believe it or not, the inside temperature in that building with just the air handlers, no air conditioner, is lower than 80 degrees. Awesome. And as soon as we can get those vehicles out of there, we shut the doors and we turn the AC on full blast.
Great. I always know I always have to have a jacket with me when I'm in Houston. So
well, somebody complained one year that it was too cold. We said we do not accept those complaints.
There is no such thing as it being too cold. Absolutely not. So they're open now. They close on July the 7th at noon.
Yes. Correct.
And entries are unlimited. Is there still grooming space available?
Right now, there's plenty.
Okay, great.
And we don't anticipate that
grooming on your website or through.
Well, there are 2 ways to do it. You can fill out the paper form that you get in the premium list, or you can go to our website, HoustonDogShows.com/exhibitors. And there is a link then to a software company that provides secure credit card access where you can actually make the reservation online and you get confirmation of it right then.
Correct. Terrific.
And then I just run that report every day, keep track of it.
So entries on Onofrio.
Correct.
grooming and RV both are at Houston Dog
Okay,
Show?
this gets confusing. I'm glad you asked that question. You enter the show as you normally would through Onofrio.
Mhm.
And as I said, with the reserved grooming form, you can use the paper form or a third-party website that we use. The parking has to be done through the NRG Center.
Okay,
And we have links to that, both in the premium list and on our website under that exhibitors page.
got it. I need to remember to do that myself.
Uh,
Just parking.
well, you can still purchase it.
Right.
And remember that the first time you enter, they will refund that stub.
So NRG for parking.
Correct.
Houston Dog Shows for reserved grooming.
Grooming.
Onofrio for entries.
There you go.
Closing on July 7th. No limit. Forced dryers are allowed. And it is what we really consider the close of the Oklahoma City, Texas march. So hopefully everybody will be marching to Houston on their way.
And that's an interesting point you bring up, because I've been to a lot of dog shows as an exhibitor. And what I've learned as a cluster chair is that if I can get my exhibitors in the building without a fight, and they're happy when they can drive in, they can unload, they can go park, and they come back and take care of their dogs, they have space, they're not worried about it, my work is done.
There you go.
It's downhill from there. Because if they're mad when they move in, they're going to be mad all weekend.
Yeah, and we really don't want that, do we? No,
we don't.
We really don't.
So, we have maps of the grooming area. We have the list where everybody should be. We have people there to guide you through it.
Terrific.
And if you come in late, we'll have maps and alphabetic lists posted where you can find them and find out where your space is. Everything's marked.
Perfect.
And the whole idea of this is to get the exhibitors in the building as quickly, as easily, and as comfortably as possible.
Terrific. That's amazing. And everybody appreciates it. And everybody appreciates the hard work, especially this year.
Well, I remember, this is an interesting little story for the people that now think reserve grooming is old hat. I believe that we were the first show to do it over 20 years ago at the old Astor Hall. And the reason I did it is that it was 7 o'clock in the morning. We were not going to let the vehicles in until 8 o'clock in the morning. It's already 90 degrees on the parking lot and getting hotter. And there were 254 vehicles waiting to get in. We can't let that many in at one time anyway.
Right.
And I said, this is just, this is dangerous for the dogs.
It is. I mean, listen, I remember I was one of those people at the Louisville shows years before reserve grooming that was literally crawling under the overhead door when it cracked open and throwing plastic. I mean, some of the crazy things we exhibitors have done.
Well, and it just makes move-in so much easier.
Absolutely. And it's always organized.
And we don't make any money off of it. It just barely covers the electricity.
Sure, absolutely.
In fact, this year I actually have a reserve grooming spots at a very low rate. There's still reserve grooming, but without electricity.
Got it.
So there are a lot of exhibitors out there that don't need
it. Sure. Yeah. Great. All right, Tom, I thank you so much for all of your hard work. I know this wasn't easy, and I really look forward to spending my customary week with you guys in Houston. So everybody, get your entries in on Onofrio, get your grooming in at the Houston website, and we'll see you there. Until next time.